on his business card. So massive amount of experience from Mike Wiles. I know he's been very much looking forward to this opportunity, and having 45 minutes in a Group C sports car around Silverstone, you can't blame him.
Certainly not. It's going to be very difficult indeed in there. Now, because they're obviously putting Mike in the car, they've put the fuel in, they've made sure everything is tip-top, and that looks like Stretton's seat being positioned in position. Don't forget that some of these guys are using literally a wet towel or a wet blanket just to lap up any spilt bits of fuel, because it's very hot here. You don't want any spilt fuel at all, Rob. Remember that Benetton fire at Hockenheim? Oh, and there's the leader in. There's the leader in. Remember the Benetton fire at Hockenheim with Verstappen? That was only 3 litres of fuel. Yeah, 3 litres of fuel and fuel vapour. So as we look at the picture here, the vent man is on the right-hand side. The fuel man is on the left. He's already got 20 litres into the car. He's going to pick up another 20 litres. There he is. Bang, in it goes. Just watch the fuel level drop in the churn. Martin Stretton climbing upon the number 11 car. That's still in 4th position, cleaning the windscreen, fixing the seatbelts over the hands device. So still no hurry here. Remember, we have 4 minutes time that the car has to remain stationary. So further down the end of the pit lane in the pink car, that's Mike Wiles. That's the car with our onboard camera. There's Mike with a very distinctive yellow crash helmet. Ex-teammate of David Leslie's at RML, only fitting as this is the David Leslie Memorial Trophy. Good spot. And we are now having the kind of view that Mike Wiles has got out of the front of that Porsche. It is absolutely original. The paintwork with the Japanese graphics on the side have almost been polished off as the car has been looked after. As John said earlier, ex-Damon Hill car. Not a lot of people know that Damon Hill drove at Le Mans. Not a lot of people know that Johnny Herbert won Le Mans, nor Eddie Irvine. It's always a good pub spot quiz question, isn't it? Always a good one. Now then, we are waiting for the 4 minutes to be up, but of course, Rob, it's a safety aspect. 4 minutes.
Yes, very much so, very much so. Many of the pit stops here at Silverstone this weekend have had a timed element to them, just to reduce the amount of rush, to make sure that everything is done properly. And through on the lead and on the monitor now, coming into Woodcote Corner, is our leader Peter Sauber. He crosses the line, comes across to then come down into Copse Corner to take the lead.
He now leads this race. Many of the people, of course, have been into the pits, and now we've got Mike Wiles out of the pits with the Porsche 962. Let's just ride with him. Of course, it may well be right-hand drive, but it's right-hand gear change as well.
Yes, very much so. Right-hand gear change just to allow the linkage to run in its line of least resistance. With the cars in the central fuel tank, it was difficult in those days to route the linkage back there. And Mike, I've already said, he's got vast experience, a BRDC member, so one of the custodians of the circuit here at Silverstone. And with 42 minutes remaining, it'll be interesting to see if Mike can make his way up the order any further than that car already is. At the moment, he's down in 9th position. That's Buncombe in the pits from 2nd position now.
He's still waiting for his 4 minutes to be up, so Chris has actually got out of the car, then they've shut the door and refueled it, and now he's got back in the car. Here, though, is Martin Stretton, winner of the shorter race yesterday.
Yes, Stretton in the middle of Beckett's already. You can see he's working away hard at the steering wheel, so Stretton pushing that car right the way from the outset.
Now, as he comes down the back section, we're going to have to wait for a couple of laps for this to shake out, but technically Sowerby is continuing to lead this race here at Silverstone. There he is on the racetrack, one of the Nissans that ran at Le Mans in 1990, and he does another lap. Now then, the other thing that's going to be difficult for these guys, Rob, is the sheer amount of physical strain on their bodies. There is no massive amount of airflow in these cars, and they're really going to be breathing temperatures of air, oh no, pick a figure, 55 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Celsius.
Yes, very much so. It's very hot out there. That man there stretching his hands, Callum Lockie, getting ready to climb aboard. He'll have made sure his fluid level is up. As you've mentioned, they're very hot and they are very difficult to drive. Limited amounts of power steering in these cars, and with the big, fast sweeping corners at Silverstone, high G loadings.
Now then, as the leader comes down towards our camera at Stowe, just continuing to talk about cockpit temperatures, the Purdy car, that's the yellow Nissan that had the first of our 2 punctures, that has actually got an onboard cooling air system. They put dry ice in it, and it pumps air towards the driver, towards the front of his chin bar of his crash helmet. That must be like night and day for the drivers. You must come out sopping wet.
They don't tend to last very long, though, these cooling systems. From a driver's perspective, they're great for just a few minutes, but then the dry ice runs out, or your refrigerated water starts to become slightly warm. I raced in Brazil last year. It was lovely for half an hour, and then I had like warm water being pumped around my suit, and I checked the temperature after the race, and it was red hot. It was like, okay, I now see. So
the Momo Nissan just being pulled off the